The obvious is we had an incredible opportunity to go to Italy. During that time, we got to bond together as a team, but we also competed in 2 games. Those 2 games revealed that we have an incredibly talented group that's very versatile. We just were taking position pictures upstairs, and Callie Barrett says, "Well, which group do I go with?" And just go with all of them. So we're excited to have new energy. We're excited to have kids that are bought in. We're excited to have those that want to come and compete every single day. And it's reflective in our workouts. And we're going to keep moving forward to make sure it's reflected in November when we take the floor.
Coach, what did you learn from the first 2 years in the Big 12 that you were able to use in your roster construction and your build up into this season?
I think it was a unique balance of making sure we stay true to ourselves. We have always played a fast paced, half court tempo. We have married the dribble drive. We also have been intentional about recruiting people who can rebound a basketball where defense is a priority. But what the Big 12 has taught me is that we have to make sure we have some scoring power. What I love about this team in their versatility is their ability to make shots. I think that when you add Maya Perry to Reagan Jackson on the perimeter, that helps us incredibly. Callie Barrett makes shots from just about anywhere too. Julia Crawford makes logo threes. So you name it. They all bring a unique skill set, but we have to figure out how to score more points.
Highest ranked recruiting class in program history coming in. What have been the trickle down effects of that on the next class as well as your roster as a whole in terms of confidence?
Well, the funny part about the next class is I don't know that they see any available minutes. So what we did was we took a lot of effort to the 27 and 28 class, and while we will sign a player or two in 26, it will be most reflective in our 27 and 28 classes. I put myself in their position as a high school senior. I don't know if I'm coming to play 1 year behind this class either, and that's okay. We want people who want to be here, that want to compete. And again, we'll find the right fits. But I think that when D. Alexander decided to come to Cincinnati, it made it okay for anybody to come to Cincinnati. So it does open doors and gives us an opportunity to recruit anyone in the country.
Now, local people that know Dee say, well, I can give me some season tickets and come watch Dee, but you're much more than her, but that's a nice selling point.
It is. I think that if you ask Kalia DeVillisi, if she looks at Cincinnati the same without D. Alexander, if she was being honest, she would say probably not. I mean, she saw someone that she could play with for 4 years, somebody she could compete with and grow a program with. And then without Kalia DeVillisi, you don't get Kylie Torrance, who we didn't get an opportunity to talk a lot about because she was committed somewhere else. In the spring, she became available, and we were excited to scoop her up as well. The entire freshman class, I think that it was about selling them on the vision of the program and them being believers. And we think that we got it right with that group of 6, that they are coming in here and they believe that Cincinnati can be and do something really special.
Did you see Dee's decision to sign here also trickle down to the transfer portal class and those players also being more interested and not just being high school?
I think so. I think Maya Perry, being an Ohio kid, saw that Dee was coming here, and I think that it just confirms that something special is happening. Did she always want to be a Bearcat? Well, obviously she didn't start here, but I do think that what she sees in the momentum that we have right now, just in the past 2 seasons as well, and not just this recruiting class, but our returners and the work that they've done to take a step forward in the Big 12, I think that interests them. But I mean, good players love playing with good players, and I think that that's what we're seeing happening.
How do you feel like the freshmen have got acquainted to not Big 12 ball yet, but to college basketball, and then you guys getting to play overseas? How important was that to get those reps, those live reps with those young ladies?
It was incredible. And, and when I took the job and JC and I were having that conversation, it was necessary. And I'm super thankful that we had enough people come through that allowed the trip to happen. I always give him a ton of credit because I know people think that it's about raising the money and that sort of thing, and it obviously is, but your athletic director has to be on board. He has to see the value in a trip of that nature, and he did. And then you have our fundraisers that went in and took care of the other part, and Maggie, who was able to walk us through a lot of the steps. So anytime something like an international trip happens, it takes a lot of people, more than anybody will get credit for. But it meant everything because we had an opportunity to play with lineups. Of course, you get immersed in another culture, and it's very educational, and we did some really cool things. And I think that we provided an opportunity to these young people that they haven't had before, and hopefully they'll continue to have as they get older. But for me, it was all about watching us get on that floor and to figure some stuff out early.
When you think about the day-to-day development of this team and their progressions, what have you been most encouraged with?
Their coachability. I think that when you have 6 players that were the best players on their high school teams, and they have an option, they can come in here and they can try to make it about them, or they can try to be so consumed with name, image, and likeness and all the things that come along with this. Or you can have a group that came here for a bigger purpose. And we always talk about having and providing a full package here in Cincinnati. And those 6, including Maya and Mary out of the portal, came because they believed in the full package. The environment that we create, the culture that we create, the sense of community in this city, in this university and athletic department, it goes on and on. When we talk in recruiting, we talk about one team. And how our department embraces that, and our kids go to each other's games. And I think it's just so much more than what they get out of it individually, but believing that they're going to get something out of it collectively. And that has been the best part so far about this group.
Kind of the inverse of that, has there been a most frustrating or difficult part of so much roster turnover going into this year?
I don't know that it's been frustrating, but it's been expected. I think when you have 6 freshmen, a lot of the time, if you all watch me when I'm coaching and I throw my hands up, I say, it's like we don't even practice. That's my favorite line to the staff, because we'll go out and do something that we didn't work on for 2 days. And now in practice, I'm thinking, I know I told them to do that. But when you have young people, you have freshmen, it's a lot of teaching, which I love to do. But you forget sometimes. The last 2 years, we've had incredible experience. When you lose a Jillian Hayes that's been in this league and at this school for 5 years, she just came off as a leader, and that she knew exactly what to do all the time. And while Reagan has done a great job, Destiny Thomas has done a great job stepping into that space, and even Maya with her experience has come in and been really helpful, and all of our returners have taken a lot of pride in that. You still are going to have your days where you have 6 freshmen in the gym and 8 newcomers, and it feels like it.
For those who maybe aren't familiar with Maya Perry, what does she bring to this team, and how important was it for you guys to get in on her so quick and get her on a visit and then wrap up that recruitment really quick?
Yeah, it was incredibly important. I think that when you want to be a downhill, get to the free throw line, paint 2 type of team, someone's got to open the lane. And Maya was the 3rd leading 3-point field goal percent shooter in the country last year. And when we saw that she was hitting the portal, we did everything we could to convince her that she would thrive in this environment, in our system. And we were fortunate that she saw that vision and decided to come, because it's going to make the game a lot easier for a lot of people out there.
What did the girls like the most? Pizza, pasta, or gelato?
Gelato, 100%. Every time that I experience an international tour, there's a gelato spot right by the hotel. And it doesn't matter what time of day, afternoon or evening, you can see 4 or 5 of your players lined up at the gelato store.
Which one ate the most?
If I had to guess, Abby Owens, our coach. So they introduced it to me, and before I knew it, after every meal, we were headed over there to that restaurant and having gelato. But our players, who knows? They probably, all of them, shared and ate as much as the next. But I think out of our coaching staff, AO wins for sure.
Where did it all go?
Yeah.
She was in a youth medium.
Okay, so this is definitely off beat, but I have to tell you something. We call Abby Owens Jimmy Johns. Super freaky, super fast. She times herself from one place to another. So if I say, hey, AO, I left the practice plan upstairs, she literally hits her watch like the equalizer and takes off to go get it and comes back. So that's where it went. It's burned. It's gone. So, but...
You've kind of mentioned your staff with AO. How important has the continuity of this staff, similar to Coach West and his staff, been to the continued development and, I guess, rise of this program?
Everyone knows how much I value our staff and how through the different stops that I have made, how fortunate I am that they have come with me and believed in me and what we were doing enough that they wanted to be a part of it. And you do not sign a recruiting class like we just did without everyone being able to sense the family. And you hear us talk about sisterhood a lot and just the chemistry that we have on our staff and how it trickles down to our team. There is absolutely no way we would be able to take the steps forward without the people on my staff. And that extends out to our support staff and, of course, the administrators, everyone who makes decisions for us every day. But our immediate staff, they sacrifice every day. They put the student-athlete experience first, and we wake up every day trying to figure out if these kids had a decision again, would they choose to be Bearcats? And that's our biggest compliment is when they tell us yes.